Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. A mini one for you, a live reaction to the American Ryder Cup Captains Selections. Remember to smash the like button of the video, subscribe to Mayo Media Network, and in the comment section, you give me the player that is not one of these captains' picks that you think should be on the team. Can't be Patrick Reed, because we'll talk about Patrick Reed here in a second. Beyond Patrick Reed, who do you think should have made the U.S. Ryder Cup team? So looking at it right now, Daniel Berger, Harris English, Tony Finau, Xander Schauffele, Scotty Iron Scheffler, and the man of magic beans himself, Jordan Spieth, were the 6 captains' picks that left Kevin Na on the outside looking in, Patrick Reed. I mean, Kevin Kisner was never going to make the team to begin with, but apparently people are like triggered that he's not on the team somehow. That's moronic, but either way, he is also not on the team. Geoff Fienberg is on the line to help me break this down. There's one place and one place only that we need to start. Sir, how can you have a Team America without Captain America?
I'll admit, Pat, I am quite heartbroken by the decision. I don't think it changes anything how I think this event is going to play out. As far as I'm concerned, Steve Stricker had 1.5 mulligans. The other teams got 3.5 Lee Westwoods. So there's no roster that Stricker could have sent out that would change my opinion on the event, but I'm absolutely heartbroken for Patrick Reed. I am a staunch Patrick Reed supporter. The fact that a guy who is a Masters champion consistently wins WGCs, won FedEx Cup playoff events, won Torrey Pines this season, a premier scheduled event, got left off the team for the best player in the world who's never won. And I hate having to frame this as like an anti-Scheffler thing, but I do not believe Scotty Scheffler deserved Patrick Reed's spot. Forgetting the fact that, I mean, we discussed match play week, right? The WGC match play, that the whole like match play wizard thing's a bit overblown from a couple incidents at Hazeltine 16, but there's no doubt he is a proven RC commodity. He might be on, at least I could be biased, but they're on a lot of golf fans. If you need a 10-footer for your life, Patrick Reed is probably on your short list. I know for a fact he's healthy because I've heard from inside his camp. Okay, I'll just put that out there. I am a supporter. When people are mean, I am nice, and people within his camp know that I'm a fan, and they reach out for me from time to time. And I know that he is healthy, and this is being seen as strictly political. The guy went to the Olympics for love of country. For love of country. I'm heartbroken for the guy. I really am. I think Spieth and Justin Thomas might have had a role in this. And I think they're the new leaders of USA Golf. They're the leaders of the team I'm going to brown bag a lot of money on when this event rolls around. I just want to get the best possible number I can. So I need them to be great. And maybe this is in their mind what will allow them to be great. But I believe politics are at play here, and I'm heartbroken. I'll say it again, heartbroken for Reed.
There's most definitely a case for Reed to be on this team, whether it be experience, whether it's the skill set that he brings to the table, but getting sick certainly didn't help it. Although he did return to Eastlake and played like okay, but
and it's not like it's tomorrow.
No, it's not like it's tomorrow, but frankly, Reed hasn't been good in like 6 months. It's not like he earned his way on the team and they found some way to leave him off. Like,
that's fair.
Like, and Scheffler, despite not winning all year, I think he's sort of the guy. Not that I'm like a huge Scheffler fan, but he's so well-rounded. And people were talking about, oh, Kevin Na makes all the putts. Like, Scheffler's basically as good of a putter as Kevin Na. It's just he doesn't have the spike putting weeks that Kevin Na has. That, yeah, the recency bias with Na, because he's hitting his irons really good right now. And that's really been the difference between his results. But do you really want to take, listen, I wish Kevin Na was on the team instead of Scheffler. I love Kevin Na. He's one of my favorite golfers. I understand the decision to take Scotty Scheffler over Kevin Na. Just mainly because, do you want to get to the Ryder Cup and bad Kevin Na shows up? Because that happens a lot. Bad Scotty Scheffler rarely shows up. He's one of the more consistent players out there, and I think that he has really the perfect qualities for Whistling Straits.
100%. I like Scheffler. I wanted Scheffler when we were doing this like a month ago. I wanted him to have the spot that I at the time projected to fill. And part of me likes the fact that the USA is sort of saying, no, I want to bring a guy that I think is going to be on the next 5 of these things. He's a perfect fit. Let's bring him into this thing. I've always kind of wanted Team USA to do that. We've spoken about that in the past. If they're not going, because they didn't take Reed, I am thrilled with the selection. Despite a very off-putting remark I made about Scheffler and comparing them, that doesn't matter. I mean, Finau won Puerto Rico. He went to Paris and got 3.5 points. Like PGA Tour wins don't necessarily matter when it comes to a Ryder Cup. I mean, Poulter hasn't won in goddamn forever. Still great Ryder Cup player. So I agree with absolutely everything you said about Scheffler. I was so out on Na. To me, people think the team room hates Team USA. Na would have this ability, Pat, to make the Europeans hate him. Like he would do something that would fire them up, in my opinion. Not fire up his own like stoic teammates. He would rile up the opponent. I thought Na would backfire between bad Kevin Na and match play Kevin Na. I think he would do something off-putting. Like, you know that incident with Jessica Korda from the weekend? You probably don't even know, where the putt on the ledge and they gave the American Solheims the point.
Didn't see that.
I don't even want to get into it, but people who are watching will understand. Jessica didn't call that point herself. An official came in and called the point. And someone pointed out to me on Twitter today that Na would call the point. Like he wouldn't allow for an official to do it. He would be that guy. Like, no, we didn't even need the official in here. That's my point. That ball was over the ledge. So I think Na literally could have backfired. So I'm honestly happy.
I go the other way on that. I would want that guy. That's essentially what you're describing what Poulter is to the Euros.
Yeah, but Poulter's their best player available. Na isn't. I don't want that at the behest of the actual talented player like Scheffler, who's a better course fit.
Is Poulter one of the better players available? Like, who's had a better past 24 months, Guido or Poulter? Burned or Poulter? It's those two.
I don't know, but here I'll put something you say to me. Like, we're going to take Guido's Jabroni Europe events versus Poulter playing a pretty consistent American schedule. Maybe it's a fine line, but Guido's done nothing to like take the spot. They have left Padraig in an awkward spot, forcing him into these veterans, unless something fun happens at Wentworth this week. The old band. I don't think there's a talent like Scheffler that they can overlook by taking Poulter. Like, it's way too close in that regard, so they'll take the experience and the feistiness. I don't think Scheffler versus Na is that close, either in course fit or consistency in a lot of ways. So I'll rebuke that. Well respected. I'll rebuke the point.
I can see that, but I'm just, maybe it's just because the American team is stronger. I think that Scheffler is a better player than Na too. But I mean, Na did win this year. He has like 4 wins in the past 3 years. He's a very good player. But like you said, the consistency level definitely goes with Scheffler. The skill set definitely goes with Scheffler. That's why he's on the team. Like the Scheffler spot really probably came down to Scheffler or Burns.
You think Burns was ahead of Reed? I mean, Stricker made it seem like he said he lost sleep over the Reed decision. Maybe that's an easy thing to say. And he also made it seem like Na was never really in contention. Like, if you sort of want to read into some of the things Stricker said, that he wasn't really on that deep short list. It was nice to see him play well last week, but it wasn't really enough for Stricker. So yeah, I don't know. Like, if Brooks can't go, you think Reed is going to get passed again? Probably, because once they pass him once, I feel like it's already political.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's political or they didn't trust what his health status was, or at least the optics of it coming in. Because I think you need to have backup plans for this, because not only is the Brooks wrist injury a real thing, and they might just say, you know what, you're not 100%. We don't want to see you out there like you were at the Masters when stupid Pat bet on you to win the Masters and you couldn't bend over. But there's also, I mean, we're just, a month and a half removed from Bryson and Rahm not being able to play in the Olympics because of COVID. Like, that's not off the table either.
100%. There are a lot of wild card doors still to be opened. I would just love reading the music hits and it's Reed and Justine coming through the tunnel like the end of a wrestling pay-per-view.
It would
Like,
be
he's the
oh no,
he's the 12th man.
There is a situation right now where Reed could be like secretly getting his EU membership because he's an official member lifetime of the European Tour. That he just shows up playing for the Euros. That would be the ultimate.
Yeah, Reed and Justine has like a great grandparent who's German, and they're trying to acquire German citizenship at the moment. Would be a great storyline. Something like random like that.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I mean, we don't know what the European team is going to be because Wentworth is really going to tell the story. Like, there still is a way that Tommy Fleetwood loses his automatic qualifying and doesn't make this team.
No, he's been announced as a Padraig told him he's on the team 100%.
Oh, well, that's no fun. I mean,
Like, he put out Ryder Cup Europe put out a tweet yesterday welcoming Tommy Fleetwood to the team.
okay, because I see that there are scenarios where he loses automatic qualification if BMW finished Guido, Byrne, Hatton, and then someone else like down the list, like 1, 2, 3, and like Tommy missed the cut or something like that. That the points would work out that he would no longer be on the team. But like, when was the last time that guy was good?
Last week, where he put 2 balls in the water down where he couldn't hit a drive in the last 4 holes and lost by a stroke. Yeah, I've been saying to you, it's been a while. You mentioned that run last year around the Honda where he won a bunch overseas, and then he came and was second at the Honda. And it does seem like there's a small pocket where he just gained absolutely so many points. But this speaks to Pat, I think the Europeans are in are in slightly better shape than they were at Hazeltine, but I think this American team is so much better than Hazel. Like,
I would agree with you, and the odds reflect that. Like right now, the USA is minus 190 to win the Ryder Cup. Europe is 2-1, is a 2-1 underdog, and that's with the tie. The tie is 12-1. But it'll be minus 190 for USA either way because they actually have to go out and win because a tie would go to the Europeans being the defending champions. No, I think this is a perfect setup. Like if the Americans don't win this one, they're in real trouble and they need to really reassess what's going on. Because I threw it out there that if Stricker was actually a good strategy player, like he would take Gim, he would take Stanley and try to pair them up with like generous gimme givers on the other side. Be like, no, you don't need to make that 4-footer, Doug Gim. That's fine. Because those guys will hit it to 4 feet all day. They'll just miss 80% of the 4-footers. And the amount of talk about this guy's a fucking clutch putter. This guy's so great at putting. Have we not learned anything from daily fantasy and betting on golf over the last 5 years? This shit doesn't matter. Yeah, Kevin Na is a good putter when he putts well. Scotty Scheffler, also a good putter when he putts well. These guys don't putt well every single week. It is the least transferable skill going.
100%, Pat. 100%. And to piggyback on top of something you said, I will be in a ditch. I'll be in a ditch, I think, if the USA loses this thing. I want to brown bag it so hard. I'm going to Vegas a couple weeks after. I'm trying to pay for my whole trip. Like, I want to get her done. So I'll be like triple in the hole if they can't pull this off. That being said, if they can't win this one on this course, as I stare at this European team where, listen, we love Shane Lowry. We bet Shane Lowry. We know there are places where Shane Lowry is great. He's like the 39th best player in the world, and he's a lock for that team.
I'm going to say,
three goddamn Lee Westwoods.
This course is good for Shane Lowry, I think.
Yes, I will give you that. But I'm just like, on paper, and paper hasn't been kind to the Americans in the past. If they lose this, then they may as well just start taking college kids. Like, sure, do whatever you want. Take from the Corn Ferry. Like, if they can't win on this course. I got to say one more thing, and I've said it a few times. To me, the past means zero. It means zero. We look at these 12 men. Only Dustin Johnson has been on more than 3 Ryder Cups. I believe Spieth has been on 3. I believe he was at Scotland in 14 as a baby. Other than that, this entire USA team is 1-1 or 0-1 in the Ryder Cup with an unfortunate loss that they were dead from go between captain and course in Paris. This new era of USA golf, I am going to get behind to overwhelm Europe on talent alone, to just overwhelm them. I don't think they need to wear the sins of selfish like Tiger and Phil in the past. And I'm just putting that out there as like the Ryder Cup perception. I don't think this group deserves to wear the sins of the past. They have not been a part of it. They have not. They have not.
I can see how Europe wins this. It would take the best player in the world being by far the best player, Rory getting back up to that level, and Victor taking a step forward. Those three guys come through. They have enough random scrappy guys that I don't think will shit their pants out on the course. Now, they can get overwhelmed, like you said, but if like Berger shits the bed or Scheffler shits the bed or Harris English is just overwhelmed by the moment, like I'm not going to find that super surprising. I think that would be an underdog to happen, but I can see how it flips, but it requires the top end guys like, or they get some sort of crazy thing where Molinari and Fleetwood are like the two best players in the world coming into the event in recent form, and they just keep that going during the Ryder Cup. But it doesn't seem like Europe has that at the moment. Like Rahm is their guy. And that's really it when you look at all these guys. Like maybe someone will heat up at the BMW, but maybe they need to go take Hogard from Denmark.
You have made a great point. And the European fan would counter that and say, listen, Pat, the same 5 or 6 guys we've put on this team forever and they've always won and they're all kind of back, right? Like that back part of the team in some respects. And if Sergio beats like Dustin in singles, like no one's surprised. Like all those guys on a paper matchup, you're like, oh, okay, that like wouldn't shock me one bit. So there's a path, and I know you had no even idea of what happened this past weekend, but I'll just tell you that the Americans were a minus 250 at home, Pat, the ladies, and they got trained. 15-13 was the final score, and it wasn't even that close. It was not close. That final score was closer than it was. Minus 250 on home field. And the ladies of the USA just got trained by this feisty European group. Like it was just like the men in so many ways, Pat.
All right. Last thing, when I was looking through the course fit and the type of players that play historic, I mean, we only have 2 real samples from Whistling Straits in competitive play, the 2010 and the 2015 PGA Championships, where there's just, an eclectic mix of players that are going along there. Like maybe Martin Keimer can come out as vice captain and be like, I'll read some putts for you. Remember that one I made down the hill on 18 to make the playoff and then win the PGA Championship? I got this one figured out. You leave it to me.
Players' putts?
Yeah, but he actually made it on this course when he won the PGA Championship.
Yes.
So I figured he would know the greens pretty well. But the player that, and he was not even consideration for this team, nor should he be. But Matthew Wolff would have been fucking awesome on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I could sort of see where that comes into play. He has the sort of same, even back in the day, Bubba probably would have handled himself quite well here. That doesn't shock me one bit. Yeah, you're not wrong. I just look at it like, if Morikawa is horrible, the U.S. can withstand that. Can Europe withstand like Victor not showing up? Like, I mean, the Europes, I don't like, they're dead if something like that happens.
Yeah, strangely enough, you know who might be the key guy? The 2 key guys on the Euro team, like if they show up and start making putts, like watch out, especially if they get paired up together, are Hatton and Casey. Casey's, you kind of know what you're going to get from Casey, but Hatton's been all over the map in 2021.
You're 100% right. I mean, I think we all agree it's all sort of going to depend on Hatton, Casey, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood, right? Like that middle core. We always understand the back end could be in trouble, despite it being veterans on Europe, and maybe they could hold their own. But that middle group, if they can't support Rahm and Rory getting hot, this thing is it's going to get overwhelming.
All right. That's our instant reaction to the U.S. Ryder Cup. I want to recommend everyone play in the NFL season-long props contest. Yes. Hit the description. You can find the whole thing, but just deposit at Prize Picks, and you pay a $7.11 entry per week against me, against Jeff, against Cuss. You just make 5 picks, over-unders. It's super fun. Use code MMN when you make your deposit. You'll get a deposit match of up to $100. You deposit $65, you'll get match $65, and you're covered for the year. And there's bonuses. It's $3K to first place, $50 bonuses for 5 of 5 picks every single week. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please hit the description and go do that through our link or with code MMN. All right, Jeff, that's it for us talking golf until the actual Ryder Cup is around. I guess maybe we'll talk about the captain's pick for the Euros if we have time once that comes out after Wentworth.
Yeah, we'll see. We'd have to get a real wild card from Wentworth. I'm kind of expecting
Bobby Mack.
We shall see. Wentworth's going to be a firecracker. Like guys like Noren's 20-1. Like he's the most popular bet on the board if he goes fire. So Yeah, that thing could flip a bit at Wentworth. I'm excited to follow.
Wait till they put the Hogard brothers on the team, like when they had the Molinaris on that time.
Yeah. I mean it, though. I think Kevin Na could have had like a Danny Willett's brother effect on the Ryder Cup.
That just seems insane to me. I don't believe that for a second.
You're right. It's probably a little too mean.
Yeah, like Kevin Na, generally very well liked amongst players, by the way. Like one of the more popular.
I know. I just feel like he wouldn't be hated he would just fire them up. He would just get Europe more fired up than he would his own team.
Yeah,
I'd
but
be worried.
One of the main reasons that I feel like Reed, especially at an American Ryder Cup, is really good because he gets the fans fired up. It's a reason to cheer for him. And I feel like Kevin Na would have brought some of that too. He might have pissed off the European team, but he would have got the crowd fucking fired up, walking in putts and doing like crazy. Remember his flop shot at the US Open? He's just that sort of player that you have no real reason to root for them on any weekly basis, but if you have investment in them and want to root for them, they can be an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I do totally agree with that part of it. Like Harris English is going to be the most stoic guy hitting a 35-footer to go up a hole on 17.
Absolutely. G. Fienberg, 17 on Twitter. Catch him every single Wednesday on the Pat Mayo Experience, talking spread picks with me and Tim Andakas. Show's already out. If you haven't watched that yet, one, give your fucking head a shake, pals. Then go watch it or download it and listen and play in that props contest too. Smash a like on the way out, sub to the channel, and that will do it for us. I'm Pat Mayo. See you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!